I'm Doug Evans, President and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, and this is your Palm Beach Guide. It's a weekly podcast where we go behind the scenes, in front of the scenes here in Palm Beach, talk to some of our friends and some of our members, and try to give you a little bit of insight of what this town is that's called Palm Beach that you hear about so much on the news. I think pretty much on a daily basis. You know, it is the home of the Winter White House, of course, here in Palm Beach, and we've seen become the geopolitical center of the universe, which we love, by the way. We love being in Palm Beach, and it's always a sunny day here. So with me today is my colleague Jane Lill, who is our finance director at the Chamber of Commerce. Jane, good morning.
Good morning, Doug. How are you today?
I'm perfect. Perfect. It's a beautiful day here. It's a beautiful sunny day here in the Palm Beaches, and where it seems to be raining everywhere else in the United States except for here. We got the sunshine going out here. It's a perfect Chamber of Commerce weather day. So, Jane, you are not a native Floridian. You are a Philadelphian. And I refer to as my mainline Philadelphian, right, kind of thing. So you grew up in Philadelphia, right?
Tell me about actually the other side, the suburbs, the old what would be known as Germantown, Chestnut Hill, the other side of the main line.
Okay.
The old Philadelphia.
The old Philadelphia.
Yes.
And how was that?
Well, it was typical suburban outside in an area that was great schools, great communities. Everybody knew your name, even though it was large because we were immediate suburban, but just a train ride into the city. Not a big deal.
Did you spend a lot of time going into the city when you were
young? I did,
young?
actually. My grandfather was a singer in the Orpheus Club, the men's Orpheus Club. So I grew up going to the Academy of Music and listening to men singing and the whole old guard, Union League, all of that. Yeah.
Did you go to the Wanamaker's?
Every Christmas,
for the
go down
for
there,
the pipe organ,
stand
right?
in the long lines
for the pipe organ, right?
And the pipe organ playing, which is no longer now.
Which is no longer now, which is sad.
As of this year, I think.
As of this year,
Yeah.
Macy's took it over, and now it's no longer, which
Right.
is sad to see that happen. I love Philadelphia. It's a great city with a great history, and of course, I've spent just a little bit of time there, not a lot of time, but it seemed to me that at one point in time it fell on some pretty hard times. And then it's kind of bounced back, I think. Is that correct?
That's my understanding. And my understanding is through my young nieces and nephews, who are now probably closer to their late 30s and 40s. They all moved back into the city, and it kind of rejuvenated that. I've been down here, missed all of that, but would see it when I'd go up and visit them.
You know, I was offered a job once in Philadelphia, and I was going to live in Rittenhouse Square.
Lovely.
Like the place to live in
That is the
Philadelphia,
place to
apparently.
live.
Like this is the place. And it didn't work out. I didn't end up taking the job, which was fine and dandy because I wouldn't be here today if I'd done that, probably. But it's such a historic city. I mean, I really want to go there and go to Independence Hall. I want to see that building, which is where the birth of our nation happened. Have you been to that place, that space?
Absolutely. Even more recently, taking my grandkids there and going on a little tour, and that was second nature to us. But also at the same time, you go to places like the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and of course there's the Rocky statue. Which
you're
crazy
right.
as it sounds,
Rocky.
everybody goes and gets their
Rocky,
picture
I
taken
forgot
with
about
Rockies.
that. I forgot about
Even
that.
the locals up there.
What are some of the other tourist sites in Philadelphia to see? I mean, there's the Liberty Bell, I'm assuming. And
There's the Liberty Bell, and when you go down into Broad Street, everybody loves going to the market. The 12th Street Market, evidently, now is the big place to go. But keep in mind, I still go up there and see family, but I go to the South Jersey Shore, so I'll go down.
Oh.
I'll go down to the South Jersey Shore more than not this time of year, going in a couple of weeks. But growing up in the suburbs, I got to see places like my school was built where George Washington crossed, and a lot of old buildings there. My original school, Germantown Academy, my alma mater, which is one of the oldest private prep schools in the country, evidently, is my understanding, came around. So my stomping grounds was actually the suburbs, all over the parks, Valley Forge Park, places like that.
Washington crossing the Delaware, correct?
The little farther north, near New Hope, exactly.
Wow. You know, it's so much history there that I think that as we think about the times we're living in right now, I try to reflect back about what the founding fathers were thinking and what we've ended up with, which is, I don't know, maybe it's the same thing. I'm not quite sure anymore. But they were visionaries, and they were treasonous. I mean, when you read what happened to those men, a lot of them didn't survive. If you know history, they didn't survive. They were tried for treason because they were against the king.
This is true, and in fact, history has a funny way of repeating itself. It's just in a different mode. And now that we live in this area and the times that we're living in, you just never know. But I'm a believer that with history is growth and changes, and I'm all for changes, just like at the Chamber, as a matter of fact.
So growth and changes. Somehow you made it from Philadelphia to South Florida. How did that happen? Because people come down here and they get here through various circuitous ways, but how did you end up coming to South Florida?
Oh, it's kind of a love story, Doug, as my friends will say.
Kind of a love story?
Yeah, it's kind of a love story. Fell in love with a lifeguard at the beach. He was moving to a place called Jupiter, Florida. I said, oh, take me with you. That was right out of college. That was the late 70s. And he was literally a lifeguard on the beach. I happened to be one of the first people that was hired at a little marina called the Sailfish Marina, which Alex Dreyfus had purchased in addition with George Mergens. Both big boaters loved it. Icons in the area now, more so then as they developed things like the Kravis Center. But we stayed. My husband went on to become director of aquatics for all of the county, anything wet, anything that had to do with growth. I went on to work at Sailfish Marina for almost 20 years, so in the big game sport fishing industry and hospitality. So it was kind of fun watching it grow and living on Singer Island.
From a lifeguard's salary
Yes.
to all of this. I mean, you had to be young and I don't know, frivolous or something.
Money wasn't important then, right?
No,
Fall in
no.
love.
So what do you think about all the changes here in South Florida? I mean, you've been here how many years now?
Oh my gosh, 46.
46 years.
46 years, yeah.
You've been here longer than I have.
I love it, but you know what? I like change, and I think it keeps you current. I have no problem with that. I think that's part of life, and as long as you're open to it, it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow your mind and your brain, and I love what's happened now being in Palm Beach. You know, frankly, my grandparents used to vacation here. My aunts and uncles, I handled real estate. They actually were real estate agents on the main line.
Really?
Yes, and they
Okay.
were here in the 60s. And I remember my grandparents used to vacation here. You know, this was back in the day. And I would go to Palm Beach whenever people would come into town. I had never lived on the island. But it's funny, when people don't live here, and I have lots of friends, it's easier to tell them that I live in Palm Beach than to say Palm Beach Gardens. It just totally confuses them.
Yeah.
So everybody here says, I live in Palm Beach.
Well, it makes
To those
sense.
that don't live here.
It just makes it easier because it's, I think one of the things I've observed, and I've been here 40 years, so not quite as long as you. My observation is it's become more of just one place. It used to be so stratified. It used to be so balkanized. There was Palm Beach Gardens. There was Jupiter. There was, Boca Raton. There was West Palm Beach. There was Boynton Beach. Now it's Palm Beach.
Right.
It's one metropolitan market. And the biggest change that I see in this is there was the island and everywhere else. And now it's this energy that we all coexist together because it's one market, and I think it's a good thing.
Absolutely, and the changes I've seen with the people coming into the area, which I'm all for. Traffic doesn't bother me, especially in these day and times when I can pick up my phone and talk to you if I need to about work or something like that. But the diversity of the different types of people and the different ages that are coming into this area is exciting. Whether it's the financial or the medical field or everything that we're seeing that I see here in each month when we have our different speakers that come into the chamber. It's exciting. I love it and embrace it. And the old, I've never looked at this area as an old area.
No.
People say Florida and you're going down there and I've never looked at it. I kind of look at the West Coast as a little older, a lot older. I hear it is, but I never look at this area like it's a lot of old people. Maybe you're my church. I'm now one of the older people in my church. I don't know, St. Mark's. I could be, but it's vibrant and young.
It's vibrant, it's young, and I think that there's there's a big difference in personality between the East Coast and the West Coast. Mm-hmm. And my observation is, and I don't know what the statistics are because I've never really checked on it, but it appears to me that the West Coast of the state of Florida is older. It is older. Probably not Tampa so much, but when you get into Naples and Marco Island and some of those places, it's a much older crowd. The amount of young people moving here, which are not moving to anywhere else in the state, are coming to Palm Beach County. 1,000 people a day still move to Florida. 1,000 people a day move into this state. What I don't know, which I'd love to find out, is once they come in, where are they going? I think a lot of it's Palm Beach County, quite honestly.
Well, I've met more people from California, believe it or not, and Philadelphia here in the last 5 years post-COVID than I have in all the years I've been here. An interesting thing that I found out, probably one of the other reasons I'm here in Florida, is my father was a developer for IT&T, developing, if you will, what I thought was swampland in Florida. That little piece of swampland, we would come down. I was lucky enough to come and see every Christmas or Easter whenever we could. Let's see what the growth is going on. That particular piece of property is now the town of Palm Coast,
Oh my
which
gosh.
people love and is beautiful. But I remember thinking my father sold swampland. How embarrassed am I about that? But I always had that I'm going to live in Florida. I'm a sailor. I love to sail. I love the water. I love the boating. But what I learned working at Sailfish Marina and being in the hospitality industry, and this goes back to the early 80s. This was prior to bed tax. This was Discover Palm Beaches and Palm Beach County Hotel Motel Association. There was all development. Maybe a convention center might be kind of cool. The Breakers, absolutely, we did a lot of business with them with the corporate events. They did a phenomenal job, always have. But what I found was this area developed a lot of New Jersey people, a lot of northern people. Mm-hmm. The West Coast, as I travel over there, tend to be more Midwestern.
Midwest.
How'd you end up here, Doug? Anyway, because you came down through the East Coast corridor,
East Coast
even
corridor.
though you're a nice Midwestern boy. So, but I find that we're a little more advanced and new and forward thinking in this area.
We're going to go down that path in a second. If you've just dropped in on us, I'm Doug Evans, the president and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. This is your Palm Beach Guide. It's a behind-the-scenes look at what being in Palm Beach is all about, what it's like. And today with me is Jane Lill. She's our Director of Finance at the Chamber of Commerce. She's an old Philadelphian who, not old, but old guard Philadelphian. She's not old, but she's old Philadelphia, located to Florida. And she was just going on a riff about young people, exciting, highly intelligent coming into this market. That's what I'm noticing also. When you look at the developers here who are putting up these towers, I think there's going to be 10 more towers going up in the next couple of years. It's a lot of young people. It's a lot of smart young people.
It is a lot of smart people. And I have to tell you, whenever I cross that bridge and go over the island, whether I'm going east and getting that breathtaking view of the breakers and the island, or whether I'm going west and I'm seeing the skyline of West Palm Beach, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sight to see. But I'm all about growth.
Yeah.
And I think the Chamber's all about growth. That's what we're here for. Life isn't going to stand still, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's the high rises; they're going to be filled. Mm-hmm. They're going to be filled.
They will be filled. So, what are your thoughts on the Chamber? You've been with the Chamber now 2 years, I think.
A little over 2 years.
A little over 2
years.
Well,
I tried to retire. I retired for a month.
Yeah, how'd that go for you?
Well, Kiana, everybody knows Kiana, and she kind of called me up. I come from, I think the last 15 years, I've actually worked in nonprofits. The type of nonprofits that are difficult, starting Meals on Wheels of the Palm Beaches with Charlie Ring. That was interesting. And from there, I went into Family Promise, which dealt with families dealing with homelessness. And so I was kind of done, and let's retire. And then Kiana said, "Well, but we're a nonprofit." I said, "Oh, okay." And my background, I was there all through the 80s and the 90s with computers and computer growth. And I found that maybe the couple of years that I was an accounting major made sense. So she said, we need somebody to come in the office that we can trust, that handles money. And that's pretty much what I did with most of the other organizations. So going in there, whether it's Kiana or Gabby or Argan or you, it's really a great, diverse office.
It's a very diverse office.
And the think tank that goes on when people start talking about what can we do, where can we go, how can we grow, it's fun to be around. But as you can tell, my background really is promotions and marketing, and it's what I do. I used to be very involved with the North Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce and the West Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce back in the day. And I said to Kiana, I won't say anything unless you look at me and ask me, because I have a lot to offer. Some of it's old school thinking, but at the same time, there's some, I think, innate things in business that you need to maintain. And maybe sometimes people don't always know that, or they haven't learned it yet.
Right. Well, we have a young team. Mm-hmm. They're all in their 20s, basically, yes. Except for us. And we're not in our 20s, no. But we're Darn. But we've got a young team at the Chamber. There's only 5 of us, so it's a very small team. We also have volunteers. We have ambassadors, but we run a very lean organization. But what's nice, what I've enjoyed about this is we embrace new ideas, and it's constant. It used to be called performance improvement process, or whatever, PIP, or whatever we used to be called in the corporate sector.
Okay, yes.
Performance improvement process or something, or constant performance, whatever it is, all that corporate lingo, jingo kind of thing. But we're constantly finding ways to do things better. and more efficiently and getting more value to our members, which I think is even more important. I mean, once we announce pretty soon here who our speakers are for the year, it's going to blow people's minds. I mean, we're not just a plain old Chamber of Commerce anymore. We are literally dealing as the global epicenter of the political universe. We've got a lot of great people coming in this next year. And I think our members have come to expect that high level of customer service and content.
Absolutely. And realistically, there's so many young entrepreneur companies, and when you're with a big company, this is what I believe. When you're with a big company, like I was technically employed by Photo Electronics Corporation, which was Alex Dreyfus's. So we were always doing betterments workshops, 4 times a year, how to work better, what kind of a manager are you, things like that. But I find with entrepreneurs, once you're done college or once you're done your master's, you're limited in learning. And the growth that I see, and as Kiana is working and Gabby and Argan with bringing in better speakers so that they get more value, as you said, because otherwise they're not actually going to get it. They might get it for a 30-second something that they read, but not one-on-one like we get with those speakers.
Yeah, I mean, the content's amazing. And then when you wrap the content in a place like the Breakers 10 times a year, it's an experience. I mean, I think people, the breakfasts basically sell out every month. It's 500 people, and it's efficient at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the morning. And, to pull up to that grand, gorgeous hotel at 7 o'clock in the morning for an event, it is an event. It's an absolute event.
It absolutely is.
And what I've liked about what we've accomplished there, all of us together as a team in the last few years, is we've become a convener in a town green. I like to think of us as a town green for people to come and convene and get together and get to know each other. And I think we've created an environment that's friendly. I had on one of my other podcasts, Greg Adamos, who's one of our board members, who talks about how friendly the environment is when people come in. Because you can, if you walk into a room of 500 people and know no one, then it can be sometimes overwhelming. But what you find when you come to a chamber breakfast is we've got the ambassadors who are there to say hello to you, to take you around the room, to introduce you to people. The way we've structured the breakfast, there's a 15-minute break before we start the program where you actually have to sit down and talk to people, heaven forbid, right? But I think we've made some major structural changes in the last 3 years that have been much improved for our members themselves.
Absolutely. And it's very rare when I walk into that room at 7:30 in the morning. It's very rare if I'll see just somebody just standing alone.
No.
It's just, and it's almost the conversation. It kind of reminds me of church, if you will. It's a great community, and people, it's like, that's my community. My community is the chamber, Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. That's where I go to be with the people, with my people.
Well,
These aren't my people.
Well, it's our people.
These are my people.
And when you think about the diversity of people in the room, I mean, it's not what people think it is. I mean, people, I think, have the impression that we're just a monochromatic white community, and we're not. And that we're an older white community, and we're not. It's so diverse now. And when you come to a chamber breakfast, it's a microcosm of what the larger market is now, which I love.
Yes.
I love that. I love seeing the diversity of people, the diversity of ideas, the diversity of businesses. To me, it's just absolutely amazing. And the young professionals are growing, and that's going to be a bigger program. The trustee program, which we have, is busting at the seams. We're doing all kinds of fun things. So as a Chamber of Commerce, I know you and I believe this because we work at the Chamber, it's a good investment. And it's not an expensive investment. That's the whole thing. Yeah. I mean, for $700 a year, you can end up with maybe 75 events. I mean, do the math. It's crazy. It's an amazing opportunity.
5 events. That's a lot to orchestrate.
That's a lot of events. So, well, you've been sitting here visiting with Jane Lill, who's my Director of Finance, my colleague at the Chamber of Commerce. I'm Doug Evans, the President and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce. We wanted to get Jane in here today to talk about her history, her role at the Chamber of Commerce, her thoughts about the market, because it's very rare that you have a perspective of somebody who's been here for 46 years, who's seen this change. And Jane and I remember when they first built the Kravis Center, which is our performing arts center. There was the Kravis Center and nothing else but sand to the downtown. Right. I mean, it was there by itself, and I thought, how were they thinking? And of course, now it's just all been consumed with the new convention center and all kinds of things, and it's growing every day. Each and every day it's growing. And I'm excited about it.
I love it.
I just think it's so cool, and we've got such an opportunity here. If you are considering relocating your business to Palm Beach County, come check out. There's several different chambers of commerce, depending on where you choose to land. There's the North Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, the Boca Chamber of Commerce, the Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beaches. Then there is us, and we're the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, which is the island of Palm Beach. We have close to 1,000 members, basically, and we're a small-knit community. But we'd love to have you there. If you're just coming down to visit, we'd love to see you down here also. It's a great place for a holiday and to hang out. So, Jane, thank you for coming in today.
Well, thanks,
And
Doug.
we've got lots of great adventures ahead of us for the future.
I'm going to go into the office and count a little finance.
Count a little finance. I love that. You've just been with Doug Evans, President and CEO of the Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce, for your Palm Beach Guide. We drop our podcasts every Wednesday, wherever you find your favorite place to find your podcast. You can also, if you are listening and want to watch us on YouTube, we're there also. Go out and make it a great day and come visit the Palm Beaches. We'd love to see you. Take care.